What are you actually going to learn in the Language House TEFL program? How will you go from having little to no teaching experience to becoming a competent, confident teacher in just 4 weeks? At the Language House, you'll get 12 hours of actual live teaching practice, twice the amount of most schools, in 3 different practice levels. Our highly qualified staff will monitor you closely while you teach, to encourage you and give you constructive feedback each and every day. Online TEFL programs might teach you theory, but they don't give you on-site interaction with students. In the Language House's on-site course, you'll have a classroom full of actual English learners, so you can put into practice everything you learn in a safe, supportive environment. You simply can't do this in an online TEFL course. So, what will you learn at the Language House? We focus on helping you build a solid foundation that you can use in any classroom, based on a tried and tested methodology. Without that methodology, things can go downhill fast. The longer you teach, the more you'll figure out what works for you. The most important thing is that you have a plan, a formula for success. At the Language House, that formula is called ESA. ESA stands for Engage, Study, Activate. ESA is your roadmap and your bag of magic tricks all rolled into one. Think of it as Teaching 101. First, we start with Engage. Throughout the course, we'll teach you how to grab your students' attention with an engaging theme. You're not talking at the students. You're using your tools to draw the English from them. This is what's called eliciting. Eliciting is when you trigger the target language in the student's mind without saying the word. Most of your students already have some English language knowledge, and as a group, they can work together, making your job a whole lot easier. As you do this, you're directing them towards the target language. Target language is the new grammar or vocabulary that you are presenting in the lesson. Your first instinct will be to explain the target language, like you were talking to another English speaker. But in fact, the less you actually speak, the better. An important way to do this is to reduce your TTT. TTT is when the teacher spends too much time talking. When a teacher spends a lot of class time trying to explain things, STT, or student talking time, goes down. We'll teach you how to use other tools to communicate your ideas so your students can use class time to express their own ideas. But you never want to assume that your students understand you simply because they're nodding their heads. That's why it's really important to CCQ. Concept check questions are questions used to cement the target language in the student's mind. We'll go over all these English teaching tools and much more, and you'll get to practice implementing them each day when you teach a new class. After eliciting and checking student comprehension, it's time for the students to study the target language. We'll teach you how to create fun, dynamic study materials until it becomes second nature for you. But that doesn't mean you just give them a worksheet to do. Good teachers spend this time monitoring. Monitoring is when you move around the classroom to establish presence, check for errors, and engage with your students. The key elements to good studies are that they are productive, engaging, start with a clear demonstration and directions, have clear context, and use the elicited target language. This prepares your students for the next part of ESA. It's time to activate. The activation is the most important part of the lesson. It puts everything together and gives students the opportunity to fully own the target language. Good activations have a clear task, encourage use of the target language, and group interaction. Giving them context is essential. It's what allows the students to use the language naturally. Plus, it encourages them to have fun. This is only a fraction of all the methodology you'll learn at the Language House, and there are few places in the world that offer the level of training that we do. There might be an easier or cheaper option out there, but why sell yourself short? Why not invest in yourself and in your future? In 4 rigorous weeks of training at the Language House, you'll emerge confident, prepared, and ready to start your new career. And can you imagine a more beautiful place to take your TEFL course than Prague? We can't. So why don't you come teach with us? Visit us at thelanguagehouse.net.